All right, picking up where we got cut off. So the how certain are you? When was the last time someone in the Bay Area has challenged you? When was the last time someone brought it to your attention? Then the question, how important is it? How important is it to you? How important is it to make larger profits on your sales? How important is it to you make larger How important is it to you to make larger profits on your sales? How important is it to make larger profits on your sales? So I'm practicing this in front of you to try to get good at it. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 is like, it's not important at all to be profitable, to 10 being like, it is the most critically important thing to our company and the survival of our company. Like 1 to 10, how important is that to you? It's one thing to ask how important it is. Oh yeah, it's important. Okay, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how important? And if somebody's like, hey, it's a 7, it's an 8, it's a 9, it's a 10, it's pretty darn important. But if it's like a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, then it's mediocre important. There's other things that are more important, and I'm going to want to know. Next question. Could it be possible? Could it be possible that doing things the way you've always done could be costing you more than you realize? And I'm really wanting to come across like curiously, not condescending. So as I just did that, I kind of sounded condescending, didn't I?
Mm.
Could it be possible that doing things the way you've always done could be costing you more than you realize?
Yeah,
It's softer,
better. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where the performance piece comes into play. How would you feel if, how would you feel? How would you feel if you were netting $10,000 to $50,000 more per transaction? How would you feel if you were netting 10 to 50,000 more per transaction? See how different that feels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How would you feel if, again, I got another one for him. How would you feel if Wedgwood became the choice for realtors nationwide? Like they literally always thought of Wedgwood first. How would that feel? Or just imagine doubling your production by earning the trust of realtors who think of Wedgwood first for opportunities. Like just imagine doubling your production by earning the trust of realtors who think of Wedgwood first for all opportunities. And mind you, last year, 4,800 units, averaged $50,000 profit per unit. They profited $240 million last year. So doubling that would mean 480 million. That might be pretty motivating. If then statement. So an if then. If you allow us to guide the process, then I promise you will thank me later. If you allow us to guide the process, then I promise you will thank me later. That's a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll keep practicing and playing with that. When would be a good time? So when would be a good time for us to discuss this further? When would be a good time for us to discuss this further? When would be a good time for us to discuss this further? See how all those different ways it comes across differently?
Mm-hmm.
This is where inflection, emphasis, pause can be a really good friend. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to analyzing each project to see where you can improve. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to analyzing each project to see where you can improve. And if he's like, oh, we do. Like on everyone, like seriously, like everyone, you break it apart to figure out what worked, what didn't, and how you can do better. Because it's like challenging, like, huh? Or like on everyone, like seriously, like you really go through everyone? See how that's different?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have to watch out because I tend to get condescending when I'm thinking somebody's giving me bullshit.
That we should be curious.
Exactly. Because curiosity inspires great conversations. Mm-hmm. Being condescending shuts them down. So somebody needs to practice not being a condescending What? You know what I mean? It's funny because performing this, I'm seeing it and I'm like, ooh, this is what Phil was talking about. Because I can see my body language and my voice and how it's coming across. And I'm like, ew, okay, I think I need to work on some things. The way I see it, so 3 options. The way I see it is you have 3 options. You can turn a blind eye to what is happening and lose market share and profits, will dwindle, maybe even unknowingly. 2, you can keep doing the things the way you've been doing them and making profits and continue to grind to find more opportunities. Or 3, you can let us show you the areas to improve and earn the trust of more realtors and reap the benefits of becoming the most profitable year ever experienced. Okay, so obviously I need to do some edits and practice. Or number 3, you can let us show you the areas to improve, earn the trust of more realtors, and reap the benefits of becoming the most profitable year ever. Or becoming the most profitable ever. I'll play with that. And then, there's 2 types of people in the world. Those who hold on to what they think is best, and those who embrace what is better. Which one are you? And I bet you're a bit like me. You care deeply about the people that you work with, the reputation that your company has, and doing right in order to do good business and be the most profitable that you can be in an environment that you just love to thrive in. The I bet you're a bit like me is to create some commonality. Okay. So that's questions 1 through 18, but quickly written out in a way to get a conversation going, because my intent is to gather evidence to hopefully open their eyes to, I'm seeing a lot of things that they're missing the boat on. And I've got like 8 bullet points of different scenarios and issues that I've seen in their process that if they made these little changes, they will literally be able to reap the benefits that we reap on every other listing except for theirs. And I've got the evidence to back that up. And if they listen to me, they will literally make tens of thousands more per transaction by changing certain things in their process and the way they do business. Now, on the home buyer workshop, instead of working through the slides, I wanted to practice Phil Jonesing them. The questions 1 through 8. So these are first-time buyers who are wanting to buy a property and preferably have it with a junior ADU already or an ADU already, that then they can add another either junior or regular ADU, so they can have ultimately 3 units on one property to be able to take care of elderly parents. And through this line of questioning, I was able to, Sharon was watching it the whole time too. The clients literally about halfway through, they were like, Michael, you asked some really good questions. Like, we feel really heard and understood. And you should teach classes to other realtors because you're flushing out things that we just haven't been thinking about. And this is really helping us understand more about what we want to do.
Wow.
Right?
You should have said, I do teach.
What's that?
You should have said, I have been teaching others.
I was just like, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Because it was more about them. And that's another thing I'm trying to practice too.
Yeah.
I have a lot of confidence in my ability, but really trying to focus more on what's important to the person that I'm working with and helping them feel good about what they're doing.
Right.
So I'll tell you the questions, but because we're already like 15 minutes overtime, I'm just going to fly through these and then we will unpack this stuff and get into more practice next week. I'm not sure if it's for you, but the most profitable deals are homes that nobody else wants. Are you open to something like that? And their answers were like, well, actually, and then boom, very descriptive of, okay, they really are open to other projects, but really not too many projects. If there's 2 or 3 things to fix, that's fine. But if it's a laundry list like the other house we looked at, they don't want any part of that. Like, okay, cool. How open-minded are you? How open-minded are you to taking on projects that need a lot of work like the last one that we looked at? And then boom, spurred a lot of conversation. What do you know? Or who do you know? Who do you know that's managed to purchase and renovate properties like you want to do? You know, who do you know that's recently purchased a property and renovated, in a project of the nature? Who do you know that's managed to purchase and renovate properties like you want to do? And boom, it spurred all kinds of feedback on what they've heard, good, bad, and indifferent from their family members and friends, and that they go to them for advice. I'm like, ooh, we have other people that will be decision makers. We have other people that are going to weigh in, maybe want to invite them to conversations. I've been, this is an opening fact question, okay? It's a polite opening, and it is a mutually agreeable fact because we did meet on the 22nd, and then just asked a question, and it spurred a lot of information. I've been thinking about you and your family since we last met on the 22nd. Is everyone doing okay? That question, because is everyone doing okay? It's a very reflex, and she just went into, you know what, Michael? We've been through a lot. And in fact, I almost canceled our meeting today because and she went on and on about what happened. But I kept the meeting because I really want to see this project through. This is of high importance because we really need to figure out a place for, me, my husband, and my parents, because they're really struggling right now. And, Yosha's dad is not quite as urgent, but our urgency level is stepping up because of some things like I literally, because she's dealing with very similar stuff to like what Trisha and I are dealing with Trisha's mom.
Yeah.
So she just really let some stuff out. And I think it was important because then there was a way to, then I use my other training from coaching of acknowledge, validate, wow, it's completely understandable what you're going through, and boop, 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 boop. And this is how we're going to support you. Talk about cementing relationship. What do you understand? What do you understand about managing renovation projects? I got a lot of feedback on that kind of stuff, about chasing contractors, what a pain it is. Contractors are known for not doing what they say they do. So, that was like a softball pitch of, you know what, you're right. And I manage a ton of projects. And I'm glad that you brought this up because I watch people get frustrated trying to manage things on their own. Don't worry. I'm here for you to not just get you into the property, but I'll help you line up the projects. I'll help you make sure that you understand like what to line up, when and why, and the vendors that will actually show up and do the work for you. I'm giving you a very short answer of what I gave them that was like magic. What is your experience with? What is your experience with negotiating terms of contracts? Notice that it's terms of contracts, not terms of real estate contracts, but terms of contracts. I just want to find out what's their level of experience with even reading contracts, let alone negotiating them. Husband reads them all the time for compliance and does this follow policy or not? Okay, but he doesn't negotiate contracts. Wife, Shilpa, she was like expressing her experience in the past with reading real estate contracts and then expressing that she doesn't have experience with negotiating contracts. No worries, because with one of our next steps, or the next step really, is the homebuyer education piece, where literally I'm going to take what used to be a 10-page contract that's now 16 pages, and I'm going to run you through the most important pieces and give you Reader's Digest version of what these items mean and how they're applicable to your situation and what I can see happening with negotiations and how we're going to leverage different parts of the contract. So that way, when you find the right property, when we find the right property, and you go to make an offer, you're already going to be empowered with the knowledge of how we're going to use this in negotiation to give you the best chance of winning that property. It was like mic drop moment. They were super stoked. How certain are you that this family compound property is the best way to achieve your goals taking care of your parents? This was a stunner, because what they admitted is this is the only thing they could think of that would work. Ooh. So you mean there could be other possibilities that we haven't explored? Because what they want is like not easy. How certain are you that purchasing a property for you all to live at is the best choice? That was another one where they were like, ooh, well, here's what we've been thinking about. And they shared all kinds of dynamics to their relationship, the parental relationship. And, you know, things came out culturally, you know, about like, like lack of boundaries with the parents. And they have, I knew you'd be picking up on that.
Tell me about it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So it was funny because like it just spurred a lot more conversation around that. And then could it be possible? Could it be possible that there are other ways to achieve what you want? Boom. Wow, you know what? We didn't really think about other things other than this. Ooh. Ask more questions, have more conversation. How would you feel if? How would you feel if you found a property that meets your needs and isn't everything that you wanted? I'm wanting to find out, like, do they really have to have everything or they're not going to do something? Or is it really, they want all these things, but they were willing to compromise on X, Y, and Z. And it was beautiful because the husband apparently before was very dead set on, I want a garage for a garage and not to be converted to living space. So he's like, you know what, we've talked about this actually quite a bit. And like, this is the first time I'm sharing it with my wife, but I would be open to a garage conversion. Can we talk a little bit more about what that looks like? And she's like, oh my God, this is great because, you know, and then we got into conversation about cost and all that stuff, but it spurred all kinds of cool conversation to learn more and unearth more about the beautiful relationship they have and the compromises that they're willing to make in order to create this cohesive environment. Their emotional intelligence is very high. I was very impressed with them. Just imagine you're in your new home, renovations are done, and you're enjoying your new space while you have your parents easily accessible to care for them. How does that feel? You know, and then what does that look like? Can you paint a picture for me? And it was funny because at first they were like, how? And then I said, just think about it. Just paint the picture of what this could look like. And in the expressions that they shared in return, I was floored because it really unearthed more understanding about the parental dynamics, the importance, what they're willing to do, what they're willing to sacrifice to take care of them and do this. Like, okay, if renovations could take like a few weeks to a few months, that's cool if we're all under the same roof. But if it's going to take 3 to 6 months or longer, I think my patience is going to wear out with my parents, and I don't want to say or do things that's going to wreck that relationship. And like all kinds of really great information came out to understand, okay, cool, as we're looking at these different properties and we're weighing out what these different projects can look like. When we look at a certain thing that doesn't line up within those boundaries, do I have permission to share with you, you know, hey, because of the fact that you said this, this, and this, if we go down this road, this could be outside of those boundaries. What are your thoughts? Not, and no judgment, but I'm just going to bring it to your attention. You still, whatever you want to do, I'm going to support you. Oh, it was magic.
Wow.
Then I didn't even get to the, if you decide to work with me, then I promise you'll be glad you did. Because after that last question, it was already no more competition. They were asking questions about, how are we going to shop for homes? How are we going to share the information? How are we going to get in to see them? You have a very busy schedule. How's this going to work? Don't worry. I have partners who will show the property to you. If I'm not available, we will figure it out. We do this stuff all the time. Okay. And when would be a good time? So it led right into when would be a good time to continue the home buyer education after we run out of time today. And boom, we already have it scheduled for next Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. where we are going to go over the RPA and the home buyer education, and they're going to be fully ready to make offers.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what normally would be like a 3 or 4 part segment of meetings
Yeah.
was cut down to 2, when really, had I done this line of questioning to begin with them, it would have been 1 meeting and ready for the next.
Right.
Okay. So that's, and I didn't even get to, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to exploring more opportunities online, or, 3 options or 2 types of people. Or I bet you're a bit like me. I didn't even get to those because we didn't even have to. And that's okay.
Yeah.
The practice is being prepared to go. But we didn't have to, and it worked out beautifully. So that's just a quick rendition. And next week, we're going to slow this down and start off with, I'm not sure if it's for you, but
Is it on a Wednesday? Or no,
yes.
Okay.
Yep. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Okay.
We'll continue this and keep rocking and rolling, because I mean, it's going to take a lot to really understand this stuff. And I'm teaching something that I am not masterful at, as you can tell.
You're pretty good.
You're good, Michael.
Yes.
If you saw, actually, it's negotiations, you want to hear some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Wally, how you doing? I'm good.
Walked away from this property. They just, they just kind of got cold feet, and they said, no, we don't want to deal with it. You already paid them too much, and blah, blah. And I said, okay, well, whatever. But, we scheduled to go back 6 days ago, because I don't like to have people hanging in there, waiting and waiting. I was telling them I do. So they said, yeah, let them know that's what it is. So basically, just let the seller know, that they just walked away from the property.
Yeah, and what do you think some of those reasons might be?
I don't know, how it is with some buyers, they get kind of scared about, what it could be. They thought it was just not a best fit for them to pay that kind of money, because, it's the same as payments and this and that. Actually, I'm really happy, because I don't want to get into contract, and then, in the middle of the contract, you back out. That's even worse.
Bingo.
My time, I've been around, like I told you, over 20 years, and I usually close transactions. I don't want, if a buyer doesn't feel good about a property, you can't really put them, and then, and then something, in the middle of the transaction, they start, complaining and this, and I want to back out. So I'm glad they did it up front, but I don't know if they're going to change their mind or come down the road. I'm sure you're going to get it pending one day soon. I mean, I think the market has changed a little bit at Oakley. What do you think? I mean, higher-end homes, they're a little longer on the market than Brentwood and Oakley now. I don't know. I feel like there's like a rush of buyers past month or so. They're past like 2 months, but now it's just kind of like more homes are, sitting there. Do you know why?
Yeah, what do you think some of those reasons might be?
Don't know. Totally, I don't understand why. We've been looking at some homes in the past 2 months. Some of them are just still sitting there,
Yeah, it has been very interesting, and a few things. Number one, thank you so much for allowing your clients the space and time to really make sure that they're committed to doing this, because I was getting the same sense that, wow, I don't really think they're as into this. And if they're already saying things like 820 was overpaying, then it just shows that it wasn't really worth it to them. And that's okay. And I'm glad that you're not pushing them into it, because like you said, that usually results in disaster. And I've been noticing, because like over the last few weeks, I've reviewed over 40 offers on properties and had more conversations than I can count. Like on Monday alone, I had 172 calls and text messages exchanged. That was 72 72 conversations from all of that activity literally in one day. And I would tell you that a very high percentage of people aren't really understanding the market. And something that's been working beautifully with getting greater understanding is asking a lot of questions of the clients to really unearth more about the context behind why they're wanting to make a move, what's important to them about that, and going much deeper with the line of questions to really see what's going on, because there's still like about 20% of the people in the marketplace that are absolutely fiercely negotiating and getting deals put together, but there's still a very large percentage that really don't understand what's going on in the news. They're hearing and seeing things about rates are going up, the Fed say this, inflation's that, and all this news that is happening that is scaring people. And without the proper education to see that no, supply and demand is still in full effect, that yes, certain homes might be taking longer to sell, especially in the higher price points because of the median incomes and where high interest rates are. Some people just can't stomach the payments for something like that. So there's a smaller buyer pool. But even within that, a lot of them are getting scared because of the things they're hearing in the news, and being able to coach them and help them understand that if they really have a goal, what that's going to shape up like in this day and market, and that the likelihood of having greater appreciation and a valuable asset that's going to grow is very high, because supply and demand is still showing week after week, month after month, that even though rates kept going up, home prices are still going up now that everybody's gotten used to the new environment. And if you don't get on the train now, you're only going to pay more for that house later.
I got a client right now. He's so good for the offer, but he's an investor, so he's going at asking 500, $550,000 home, and they sell it 2-3 days up there, and like in Manteca, Lathrop, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that like Ponce Lane and some of similar corporate home, it's just a little longer because there's not too many buyers. I think the percentage of the buyers are smaller than, most of the buyers looking for 500, 600,000, or even $700,000.
Yeah.
I think that you go up on 700, then it becomes kind of tricky. It takes a little longer, but it's a nice house. I personally really love the yard, because I'm a yard guy. I love have a deep backyard, and there's so many possibilities, and I kind of, kept telling them. There's another thing I was going to tell you is that, they thought that you have to get in there, change the carpet. I don't know why they want to do that, but do some painting. And so that's another thing they're saying, like we have to put some money into it. And that was another reason. So if you ask me, like, what the reason was, so I want to share that with you. But other than that, it's a really nice house. I think you'll fill that one. Ooh, I'm sure you're going to get an offer in your state, and, you run with it. But like you said, everybody's looking for a deal now, because 99% of the buyers, they still think, it's a buyer's market and I can get all I want. That's another problem,
Yeah, exactly.
Why I see a lot of agents that you don't have much experience, they spend their wheels on property buyers that they'll never buy.
Exactly.
And they have their like a campaign case. So, but no, these people are legit. It's just like, it's just, I don't know. So if they takes too long to get back, I had a feeling that into it anymore. So I just told him, I said, I'm not, believe me, man, I'm a very professional. No matter what the use is, I always, share it with the other agent because I just put an offer on a house in Lathrop. And 2 days later, my client called me and said, oh, it went pending. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I looked it up and go up pending. And this freaking agent is 5 days or 6 days now. She didn't even contact me to tell me, thank you for your offer, but we accepted another offer. That's how shitty these agents are. So I was telling these guys, my buyers, like, listen, I just can't keep going on. I need you to give me don't let things just hang in the air. I need to let this guy know because I feel bad, I have a duty to this guy as a professional to let him know, hey, yes or no. Just give me the answer because he keeps, inquiring, what happened with your buyers, and you guys are just kind of, lagging on me. So finally, last night I got to work because I wanted to let you know so that way you don't have to waste your time anymore.
Yeah, awesome, man. I really appreciate it, Wally, and you've been great. You kept me updated as to what's going on. You were responsive and as much as you could be. And I understand the struggle when the clients are not taking action and not moving it along, then it is what it is. And so yeah, I appreciate understanding what's going on because then I can take that feedback. Yeah, thank you.
I don't want to be like one of those. Believe me, in all these years of people, I always tell people, and maybe I'm wrong, that 90% of these agents in this area, they don't have a license. Because they have horrible communication skills. But I don't want to be one of those. But anyway, in case anything, in case they want to circle back around and the property was still available, I'll let you know, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, no problem, sir. Thank you. Good luck. You have a great day.
Thanks, Wally. You too.
All right, sir.
All right, bye-bye. All right. So much for negotiation, but interesting feedback on what he's seeing, and some of the things that I pull from that are go deep with your clients, really understand greater of what's going to work for them. Because if you slow things down to really understand them better and understand their wants and needs better, it actually allows things to go faster through the process because people are more prepared. And when people are more prepared and they feel good, they're going to take action. It's the I don't have enough information to feel good about this that stops transactions from moving forward. It stops clients from moving forward. It allows their fears to get in the way. And it's our job as a professional to provide as much resource and information that we can so that they can make an informed decision that they feel good about. And that's where this exactly what to say from Phil Jones training and working on it to practice and get better and better at it will result in a lot better relationships with clients. You will earn more referrals. You will do more business. You will get things unstuck.
Michael, you want to do something fun?
Sure.
Oh boy. I think this is a great example of something that we could just work on, not role play, right? But work on. If we imagined the conversation Wally is having with his client and we Phil Jonesed it,
Right?
it's super applicable to the market. We're going to deal with this as agents every single day with every single one of our clients because what they're feeling is not uncommon. It's not rare. It's like totally normal to feel exactly how these people are feeling. So we're going to stumble. Are we still recording? This will be fun. Ha!
Yes.
But let's just imagine that we're having the conversation with this buyer. And this buyer has, we can make some assumptions. I don't know how much you know, but the basic assumption is they're interested in a property, interested enough to make an offer. They're in the heat of battle, middle of negotiations, and they get to a place where they're just uncomfortable. And I think if Wally had been to Phil Jones, he probably could have walked them through this and got them to a place where they either were really happy with their decision to say no,
Mhm.
or they had a perspective change and said, you know what? Okay, thank you for helping us work through our own stuff. And we're ready to move forward. So
Bingo.
how do you want to do this, Michael? You want to start right from the very beginning?
Do you mind if we do it next week?
We can absolutely do that. Yes.
Yeah, because I think it would be a good one to put into practice, because really building the question tree, I'm not sure if it's for you, but and then, how open-minded would you be? Because really the question tree around that scenario is very common. And it's very much in alignment with a high percentage of the buyer's agents that I talked to over the last week.
Mhm.
Like
Agreed.
super high. So I think that would be fabulous to do
Okay.
for sure.
All right. Well, there it is. We'll tee it up for next week.
Yee.
Cool.
And then we can practice with question number 1. I'm not sure if it's for you, but so any of it helpful for you guys?
Very. This was really good. Thank you.
Awesome sauce. Well, then we will continue playing next week.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Hey,
Bye.
Harpreet,
Yes.
do you want to hang out